Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hope you had a great and restful spring break. Alrighty. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Trying to wait till most people are in. All right, most of you still need to do your animated career poster, but I'm going to give you the question for today to work on. And again, we are on our last 9 weeks. And some of you haven't done any of the assignments and you're falling behind, and that's not a good thing. You want to make sure that you keep up with all of your assignments so that the last week of school, you're not trying to do 5 different things. You have class time to do. None of these assignments should take you more than a class period to do. Expect maybe the post of 2 class periods, but it would have been nice if you were working on it over the break, but you'll still have some time today to get it complete because next class we're moving on. So I have a question for you today that goes with our um, mock interviews and things of that nature. So the question today is, imagine that you had a horrible interview for a job that you really, really wanted. You got all dressed up, and this is the career choice that you really, really wanted. But it went badly, and they're probably not going to hire you, in your opinion. How would you handle? So the question number one is, how would you handle it? So use at least 3 sentences. Don't just say, I don't know. Okay. Use at least 3 sentences. It can be more, it can be a lot of things that you want to do. So use at least 3 sentences to describe how you would handle a horrible job interview. And then next, what would you do to try to fix it, if anything? And be as descriptive as possible. Okay. All right, so that's today's question of the day. So if you've already finished your poster, you can work on that. And that's only 4 people. So that means everybody should be working on this. And then once you finish answering today's question, work on your poster. Okay, and anything else you might have that needs to be turned in. Okay, does anybody need me to give, I'm just put it in the chat anyway, the link for this. I'm going to put it in the chat. There we go. All right, so that's the link for today's the question of the day. And of course, somebody comes after. Good. I knew you would. All right, good afternoon. Good afternoon. You just came in. We are working on the question of the day. And if you haven't completed your career poster, you're going to spend the rest of the time making sure that that gets done today. And that's most of you have not turned in. I don't want to keep piling work on, but there are some of you who do everything as soon as I give it to you. And you are more than welcome, after you've answered the question of the day, to work on something else. But the majority of the class has to complete their career poster. So do the question of the day and then complete your poster. All right. Again, and folks, stay logged in because I wait a little while to do attendance, and if I do attendance and you're gone, because I do it by looking at Go Guardian, and so if you're not on Go Guardian, I might mark you absent. So don't log in thinking that it's okay and then disappear. And especially some of y'all log out and then don't do the work. If you bother to log in to do the work. I got too many of y'all who have no grade at all, and you should have 3 right now. So work on the question of the day today. This is the question. Imagine you had a horrible job interview. So we've done mock interviews already, um, where you were supposed to interview somebody. Think about that. How difficult was it for them to interview you? And how difficult was it for you to be the interviewer? And what went terribly wrong? Might have been that you got real nervous because some of you were. Had a couple of people who sent me a video, and you were nervous. You were nervous, and then you had to go and that's not a good interview thing. If you're doing a lot, they don't like that. You need to be confident. Maybe one of the things that you can do to fix it for the next time is to actually rehearse. And this is what we were trying to get you to do. Come up with a list of possible questions, a possible situation. Make yourself as aware of the um, job qualifications as possible. All of that will make for a more comfortable interview. And then practice being interviewed by someone the way we did the mock interviews. All right, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I had some people just come in. If you just came in, we are working on the critical question of the day, which is to imagine that you went on this interview and you thought it was horrible. It went as wrong as it could get. So, how would you handle it? So, and what you have to do first is set up what was it about the interview that you felt went wrong? What did you do? What did they do? Why did you feel it was a horrible interview? Explain that first, okay? And then you can talk about what might you do the next time. Are you going to ask the company for a second chance, or are you going to just humble yourself and say, hey, maybe that didn't go the way I would have liked. I'd like a second chance to speak with you, something like that. So that's something to think about. Okay, so there's 2 parts to this question. Talk about what kind of interview it was and why do you think it went bad? And then how did you handle a bad interview? And then what would you do to fix it? All right, and again, for those of you, so do the question of the day first. Let's try to do what's due today first, and then work on what you should have been doing from the last time. So finish up those posters. And I heard, did you hear me? Finish up those posters. We want to try to get them finished today. We don't want to drag it out. We got something else to do. And again, for those of you who always do your assignments on time, once you finish your critical thinking question, please feel free to work on something else, but don't go away. All right, tutorial starts back up this week. So Tuesday and Friday, if you need to pop in to ask questions or get clarity that you didn't feel like you wanted to ask in class, Need some help with something, getting caught up Tuesday, Thursday at this time, 1:30 to 2, or 1:35 to 2:05 actually, because you're just getting out of your other class at 1:30. And so am I. All right. So again, if you are logged in, I shouldn't see where it says idle, idle, idle. I'm looking at GoGuardian and some of y'all are looking at me. I should see where you got a script up and you're working on something. Just keep in mind assignments have due dates on them. And I don't have any sympathy for you missing the due date if you do nothing during class time. The grade book takes points off automatically for late assignments, and I will let it stay late because you could have gotten it done in class. And we are on focus mode, so you are supposed to be on camera. Mark these folks absent. And again, if you sign in and then disappear, you might get marked absent because you weren't present when I did attendance. That is amazing. You must have had an idea of what you wanted to say. And then it just flows. All right. So again, you need to work on the critical question of the day and then complete your poster if you haven't already done so. And again, the poster is most of you because I only have 5 out of the whole class. And I would like to do a gallery walk where you all show your posters, and then there'll be a questionnaire that goes with the ones that you have looked at. Sarah, I'm loving this. Hmm. Excuse me. Good afternoon. You're working on the question of the day, the critical question of the day, and whatever else you are missing. And for you, young lady, you are missing everything. Um, Ryder, are you here? Ryder, your animated poster You still have to give me access to that. Every time I try to open it, it tells me I need access. So I am not able to open it. And folks, remember to do that when you use Cami or whatever. You need to grant access for other people to look at it. It was on Canvas. It's still telling me. I know you put it in Canvas, but for some reason, when I try to open it, it tells me I need access. Hmm. Oh, let me see if I can. You might have put it a different way. Okay. See, I'm gonna show you what happens when I try to share this, the screen that I get when I try to open your account. All right, Ryder, this is what I get. You don't have permission to see this design, so somehow this is what I get. So, okay, thank you. So I requested it again. Let me see if I go back home. What's going to happen when I click on that? All right, so that's just going to be everybody else's stuff. But yeah, yeah, if you could check on that for me, please. I've been trying to look at it for a little while and I keep getting the same answer. Okay, I will check it again. Actually, let me come out of this first. I think it's working. Yes, it did. All right, I got it now. Thank you. Hmm. Wow, that's great. Okay, if you need help with your assignment, what to do with your poster, please ask. Oh, because again, some of you are logged in and you're not doing much of anything. I should have everybody's posted by the end of class. The ones I've seen, some of you are doing it on slides, and that's okay too, where you didn't want to cram everything on one poster, and that's okay. I'm seeing some that are a couple of slides long, and that's good. That's acceptable and well done. Yes, absolutely. Oops. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're welcome. And folks, don't forget as you're doing the poster to go through and because some of you are not giving me a slogan. So go through the rubric and make sure that you have all 5 points that are asked for in the assignment. You need a picture, you need a job title, a slogan, a clip art picture of yourself or um, someone dressed in the attire that would be necessary for the job. Show 2 aspects of the job that excite you. Give pictures of the skills that are needed for the job or describe the skills that are needed. And then you need to do at least 4 skills that are needed for the job. You can say what they are, or you can give pictures of what that person is actually doing. And then you need to discuss whether this is a short-term goal or a long-term goal. Is this a job that you want to do for now, or is it going to lead to another job? Um, some jobs have steps. You have to start at the bottom and then work your way to a higher level job. So explain that if this is something you always want to do or just something you want to try for starters. Okay, so again, make sure you touch on all 5 points on that rubric so that you get all 25 points for the assignment. Mm. Jada, you must be having internet problems. In and out, in and out. Let me get this. Pictures of skill. Why does it not want to hold? I love it. That is beautiful. There she goes again. She must really have some internet issues. I'm seeing some really nice posters. I'm looking forward to doing the gallery walk and letting you all see what other folks have done and nicely done. Riley, I just looked at yours. Yours is beautiful. All right, she's back. Again, you're either working on the critical thinking question, or your poster, or both. If you are finished with both your critical thinking question for today and your poster, which only a few of you are, I know milestone testing is coming up. If you feel that you need to review for one of your classes, you can use this time to do that. Don't log off, just use the time to study. Because all of you have a class that you have to do the milestone in. So if you have extra time to study, you should use as much time as possible to prepare yourself for those exams. They are in excuse me, a week after next. Look at this. This class is so interesting. Half of you do your work all the time, on time, and then the other half, I'm looking at 3 people who have logged in and haven't done a thing since they've been in here. Student is idle for 43 minutes. Amazing. Oh, I see a clarinet. Mhm. Again, please do your best to poster today. Is it closed? Hold on. Interview. Right, the interview should still be open, so you can submit it in the assignment folder. All right, so those of you who still haven't turned in your mock interview, you can still turn in, and yes, you can take pictures and send the pictures in that folder. If you wrote it down on paper, what you said, what the other person said, yes, you can submit it as pictures in that folder. And there are a few of you who still need to turn in the mock interview. And remember, with the mock interview, somebody interviewed you and then you interviewed them. So you get practice being the interviewer and the interviewee. You can ask the same questions or you can ask them different questions. Okay, I'm going to check on it right now because it should say the 10th, but it's available. It was due. I'm gonna make today the due date, and I'm going to make next Monday the cutoff date. It should have been, it was late, but I just changed it so that today is the due date. Actually, it didn't save. Yes, it did. All right, so it's due to the mock interviews are due today, and it's open until next Monday, but that's late. And then let me see what the posters are looking like. It should have let you in, but I changed it so it should be open. Let's see the poster. All right, I'm gonna change the poster also because I'm nice like that. The poster was also due today. So I'm gonna make that due Wednesday, but that's still, I'm gonna leave the available until Friday. Some of y'all take advantage. It's not due yet. Yes, it is. It was due today. I just don't want to have to keep going back and opening it up. But the poster is due today, and we have 6 minutes left to class. Let me look at that again. Um, oh, okay. I see. I was looking at the other one. Okay, part one and two. I'm sorry. I fixed the mock interview. Yes, ma'am, you're right. It is locked. Let me unlock that. Okay. One is now open, and now in part two. I apologize. I was looking at the mock interview. All right, both are now open until Friday. Presley, I fixed it. All right, Presley, is that working for you now? Okay. All right, folks, we're just about out of time. Got another minute. Again, please make sure you get your work turned in. Like I said, it's a couple of you, I sent a note that you're way behind. Still missing many of the career posters and today's question of the day. So we don't want to, like I said, this is the last 9 weeks. We're coming up and next month, it'll all be over. So we don't want to start falling so far behind that you can't catch up. All right. So if you've done all you can do for today, you are welcome to log out, and I will see you on Wednesday.